I suppose that most of you have at least once asked your parent for a phone, or if you already have one, and if you went to your grandma's house, you would probably ask this question: what's the Wi-Fi pass? Now, talking about phones and lots of other media, that falls under the family of technology. Technology is basically, well, all about kids talk these days. Well, they talk about technology this, technology that, I want this, I want that, and I put my foot down, and I won't raise it until I get an iPad. That's what life sounds these days like. Now, imagine this. In the old days, kids did not have phones. Imagine. Well, it's not so hard. My grandfather used to spend his days outside on the field running with children and his friends. When he got up for school, instead of him to start playing on his phone and doing something like that, blah blah blah, like video games, he got ready for school. And when he went to the bus, well, looky here, he did not have a bus. He didn't even have a phone to play on his way to school. When he got to school, instead of doing his work on a computer, like most of us do here, he did his work on paper. And finally, when he got home, instead of for him to start playing on the iPad or watching TV, he would do his homework and then go outside. My grandfather loves to read books, and he still does. So, instead of him using, well, a lamp, he didn't have one, so he used a candle. There is so many different things between the old days when there was no technology and when there is now. I just want you to take a good 10 seconds to think about life without technology. And when you're ready, imagine you're playing on the phone. Are you ready? Okay, so everyone that thinks that they can survive without technology, clap once. Lots of people, I'm surprised. Everyone who thinks that they cannot survive without technology, clap twice. Okay, all of you who clapped twice, I will call you new kids. That is because technology is, well, quite new. The only thing that kids want to learn nowadays is video game cheats. So, I know at least 5 spoiled kids, and this is the letter to Santa every year. I mean, look, even this guy has a phone. Seriously. Okay, here it is. Dear Santa, I want a phone, a robot, and a plasma TV. Even though I already have them, please give it to me from Mr. or Mrs. Spoiled Kid. Now, the worst thing about this letter is that the handwriting is awfully messy. Like I said, kids don't pay attention to what they learn these days. And what they think, basically. Some parents require their kid to have a phone by the age of 6 years old. This is so that their kid can explore phones more. And parents mostly hope that their kids will become the new Steve Jobs one day. But I just want all of you kids to imagine yourself as a horse, or for all parents here, imagine your kid as a horse. Now, that horse is galloping to the other side of the street, where there's a phone. And that's where they will know all about phones. But what happens if your kid rushes through all the knowledge they can have about phones? So they go, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this. But what happens if they just take a little bit longer and explore what phones can do? For example, they learn about this, then they move on to stage 2, stage 3, slowly, slowly. That will be a way that your child will be protected. I'm not saying your child should not have a phone, but what happens if your child becomes a victim of cyberbullying? Now, that's not cool, okay? So, I'm just going to say that you should listen to your grandparents, kids. And remember, listen to your grandparents and just forget about phones and devices and go play outside. Just because grandparents are old does not mean they do not know how to have fun.